My name is Itani Rasalanavho. I'm from Soweto. I was in the West Bank. It was my second stint with the program called the EAPPI, the Ecumenical Accompaniment Program in Palestine and Israel. This is an initiative of the World Council of Churches as a response to what happened in a small village called Yanun in the north of the West Bank, somewhere close to Nablus, where settlers went into a village and decided to drive each and every individual that lives in that particular village. But the most interesting part about the invasion by the settlers is that not Palestinians, not anybody responded, but Israelis. The peace-loving Israelis are the ones that responded to this act of terrorism from the settlers. They went in and prevented the settlers from taking further action in terms of occupying the houses and driving further Palestinians out of the village. Most of them had been out. The Israelis decided to live in that particular village until action was taken. So the World Council of Churches took action in 2002 and established this particular organization. This organization was formed based on impartiality, principled impartiality. It is, however, impossible to be impartial in this case as a peace-loving individual. There's no way that you can be on both sides, but rather you are going to be on the side of the oppressed, the side of those that are being tormented on a day-to-day basis. So as such, the EAPPI program is based in the West Bank in 7 different placements, strategic placement in the West Bank, in trying to assist where we could. There's little that one can say we can do because we don't have the might and the power that the Israelis carries with the 18-year-olds carrying the guns, which really hurts to see an 18-year-old being the one that carries a gun and is at the forefront of all this. What we do is mainly protective presence as well as documenting what is happening. By protective presence, I mean by being there where the settlers are constantly present, where soldiers are constantly present in places like settlements and checkpoints. That is where we are found to try and provide protective presence for the Palestinians. This has borne fruits because in the past few years, there's been a decline in settler harassment as well as soldiers harassing Palestinians. And I feel that it is important for us as South Africans to be part of this, based on the fact that history somehow relates us to the Palestinians. We have become one with Palestinians based on that. We have been oppressed in the same way, in a systematic way, in a racist way, in an apartheid way. The role of believers in this, Jesus Christ said, ours is justice, peace, and equality. That is what we should seek on a day-to-day basis. So as such, we are not lost as believers, as Christians, to be part of these programs, because where there's injustice, that is where believers should be. Where there's no sense of peace or any form of impartiality, that is where we should be found. That is where we should be seen on a regular basis. So it is good that this program is found there. It is good that we are there. And mainly, I'm happy that we've come together here and said I've been part of the IAW for a couple of years. I'm very happy that it took a direction and fully put the believers in the forefront to say, let us talk about this and expose it as a battle which has nothing to do with religion. It's got little to do with religion. It's not only when you look at it from outside, but also when you are there, you realize that this has nothing to do with religion. It's got none whatsoever. It is, however, religion, like it is, if you read Dr. Uri's books, he talks about this, to say religion, like in the apartheid regime, religion was put in the forefront. Most Afrikaners, to say, were told that this is their God-given land, this is where they should establish themselves. It was mainly based on the Bible. Now, as it is in Israel, it is mainly, the Torah is usually quoted here and there. It is said that this is the historical land that God has given it to them. They say there's a story that, it's not a story, it's a fact of what happened in Bethlehem. There's a family that is constantly harassed by the settlers. One of the bad days, the settlers decided to get inside the yard and said, what are you doing here? He said, I live here. We've been living here for hundreds of years. Do you have any documentation? He said, yes, I've got documentation. I've got papers from the Ottoman era. I've got papers from the Jordanian. I've got papers from the British mandate. They were shocked for a while. But one of them spoke after a couple of seconds and said, we also have the papers for this land. We have the papers from God. They are saying that they've been given this land by God. They don't regard anything that is given, any paper that is going to be given by anyone, because it has been given to them by God. So most of them would speak about the land being given to them by God. But in essence, there's nothing that, the whole battle has nothing to do with religion. It has got nothing to do with it. It is mainly a political warfare. It is mainly driven by the Zionists. It is a Zionist ideology to try and drive every Palestinian out of that land to create a Jewish state. A lot has been said about the conflict there. Mainly when you read in the media, you hear about terrorists. You hear about the terrorists, meaning the Palestinians. When you are there, you actually see terrorists as the other group, as the other people that are always carrying arms. Not only soldiers are carrying arms, you see soldiers at every corner, and we don't get harassed as internationals. Palestinians are the ones that are being harassed. They are structurally being driven out of their own land. Settlers carry arms. During exercise activities, just running around is carrying an arm. They be attacking Palestinians at any chance they get. A lot of Palestinians have been killed and said that they've been carrying knives. I, for one, witnessed a situation where 2 young girls were arrested. They didn't have a knife. I captured a clip where a soldier was actually holding a gun, a knife, I meant to say. And that knife was nowhere from that particular Palestinian young lady. I witnessed a shooting of a young man who was shot in front of Damascus Gate. We stayed for 25 minutes and there was no knife, but when you read in the media, you hear that there was a knife. So we as the EAPPI, we say we fully endorse the Israel Apartheid Week and are going to be part of the Israel Apartheid Week on a day-to-day basis until Palestinians are free, and hopefully it shall be soon. Thank you.